Hello there, Quicksilver Slash, and I've got a second video for you guys today. The tanks one I put up was very short, and I felt I owed you a little more than just a 5-minute game. So I'm going to do a second video kind of like my Sims one from 2 days ago, where I talk about a ship, how I have it equipped, and how I utilize it to the best of my abilities to have a good game. So today I'm talking about the Tier 9 American cruiser, the Baltimore. Me and this ship have had some growing pains. There's no lies there. At first, I really didn't like it. I quite enjoyed the New Orleans and I was struggling with the Baltimore. And I find that to be true a lot of times when you first get into a new ship, is just learning those little changes from the previous tier and potentially even different nation. If you say you're used to driving a Tier 9 Japanese or Russian cruiser and you suddenly get in a Tier 9 American, the playstyle is different. So it takes a few dozen games to really figure out how to best utilize it. And here's what I think I've got figured out. So I've got basics of survivability for my first commander skill. Then I've got expert marksman to just speed those turrets up a little bit more, particularly when you get in a knife fight. Every little second counts for getting your turrets onto target. Then I've got Superintendent, both for boosting my anti-air radar and the heals that Tier 9 cruisers get. As you can see with it, I've got 4 repair parties, and that can really keep you in a fight longer. At Tier 4, I'm running Advanced Fire Training to further boost this ship's amazing anti-aircraft abilities, and at Tier 5, I've got Concealment Expert. Moving over to modules, pretty straightforward setup, I think. Main armament 1 to prevent turrets from getting destroyed. Aiming system mod 1 for better accuracy and just a little bit better secondary performance. Then I've got gunfire control system mod 2 for 16% bonus firing range, which will come in. Why I use that will become apparent quite shortly. Then I have damage control 1 and 2. I would consider switching out for steering gear mod 2 for a little better rudder shift, but I like having the quicker consumables, and I like being able to let a fire burn if I need to, particularly now that at Tier 9 I have those repair parties. You don't necessarily have to put out a fire right away. If you can disengage, let the fire burn down, use one of your heals to recover all that health. So putting that fire out quicker does really start to matter. And then I've got Concealment Mod 1. Now, with the range boost, the Concealment Mod, and the Captain skill boosting my concealment, my detectability by sea is 9.7 kilometers. And after firing my main guns, it's only 15.8. With the main battery, or gunfire control 2, sorry, I'm able to fire to 18.4, which gives me just under a 3 kilometer range that I can operate at and fire my guns at a target without being spotted or engaged. And this doesn't come into use every game, but if you ever end up alone against a battleship or even cruisers off in a corner of the map, that ability to keep distance and continue to put fire on a ship without taking any fire is huge in my opinion. But that's pretty much how I have her equipped and the things I focus on. So now we'll move into a game and I'll talk you through what I'm doing. Alrighty, we've got ourselves a game, and just like last time, you gotta be sitting at your computer. Don't walk away and go try to make a sandwich while you're waiting for a queue to drop, because the number of times I've seen people AFK at the start of games because they just decided they were waiting too long in matchmaking and end up costing them their ship because they're AFK. But also because it gives you this chance to look at this. So, Tier 10 game, but each team only has a pair of Tier 10s. One Tier 10 cruiser, one Tier 10 destroyer each. So these are going to be primary targets for me. If I can get that Hindenburg or Shimakaze in my sights, I am going to attack. So looking at the map, I never really know what to do on this one right off the start, but a quick look around. I've got the Iowa over there, Izumo and Tirpitz, but they've got the Essex nearby, so they're probably good for AA. So I think my plan is going to be come over, try to provide AA to this Iowa, get A, let the DDs deal with B. That's not really a place for cruisers at the start of a game, especially now that they've shrunk that cap circle down. That just becomes torpedo alley. So I'm going to head over to A. Hopefully this Iowa comes with us. It looks like the Des Moines may be going that way, or he's still AFK, but that's my plan. Oh, what is going on with my... There we go. Mouse was acting up, sorry. So you can see on my map that 18.4 and the 9.7 stock detectability. So if I get a couple ships right on the outer edge, I'm just going to open fire and I shouldn't get spotted. If I do, I know it's because there's a destroyer somewhere inside that 15.8. And that's all kind of things that I'm going to use to try to determine where I'm going. And I feel it is an important part of driving any ship, is knowing kind of the lines of sight that are approaching your ship, where you might be getting spotted from, and using islands and breaking lines of sight to determine exactly where an unspotted vessel is. So unfortunately it looks like the Iowa's ditching me and the Ibuki. I'm not liking this, but I can't just abandon A. I think I still have this Des Moines with me. I can't tell if he's AFK or not. And we've got a Tirpitz here, so gonna take a shot. Rounds go in the air. He's outside the detectability. I don't get spotted by anything, so I know there's no destroyers in this channel between me and the Tirpitz. Or at least none that have line of sight to me yet. Okay, so the Ibuki looks to be coming with. And I can hear the Des Moines firing. So there's 3 cruisers going to A. That's more than enough to put some effective fire. And there's that Hindenburg that I wanted to get so badly. So I've got AP loaded now. And... detected. You know what, there's destroyer fire. Okay, there's the Tashkent. I'm still going to focus in. I'm going to put a volley here at this Otago first, because he's side on. And I'm slowing up and turning. I want to get behind our Des Moines. I don't want to get stuck in front of him and eat some torps. But now I'm just going to work at this Hindenburg and try to put some effective fire into him. Get a great first volley, just over 10,000 damage. He almost looks to be stopped. I can't tell if he's going astern or not. Aim just a little aft amidships. Yeah, he's still moving forward. Get another Citadel and 11,000 damage. He's going to be dead. So I can focus in on this Tashkent. He is priority 1. And that Des Moines looks... Yep, he's screwed. He is dead. Come on, secondaries. Sweet. Alright. Tashkent and Hindenburg dead. It cost us our Des Moines. But you know what? That's a tier 10 cruiser for a tier 10 cruiser. I know I put a good shell into that Otago. I'm going to turn and pressure into A, because from the looks of the map... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Yeah, I don't think anything is really unaccounted for that could be over here. And I've got this Ibuki right beside me, so I've got help. Battleship players, don't do what the Iowa's doing. Like, he drove right into the middle of the frickin' map, sitting still, just ate a ton of torps. Like, that's a terrible place for a battleship. Don't do that. And here's the Satago again. So it looks like he managed to heal most of the damage I did to him. Only one pen 2 bounced. Missed with that whole volley, but right now we've got 3 of the 4 caps. We're capping C. I don't think we're going to manage to get it because you can see this enemy destroyer pushing in. Oh, gonna run into a buddy. Oh well, that happens. No harm. And we've got a cyclone coming in. And I absolutely love cyclones. I think they're really a time when the better team and better players can really excel, because with everything, all your visibility reduced to 8 kilometers, you have to be very strategic in how you approach things. Like if I just go balls in at this pair of battleships and suddenly get spotted 8 kilometers out, I'm gonna get screwed. So I've got HE loaded, firing at this Iowa creepy creeper 99, and he looks to still be at the start. Like his smokestacks are going. He's going astern ever so slightly, but what is with battleship players sometimes? Like I don't do this when I drive a battleship, I swear. So right now I'm just trying to light fires. At this kind of range I don't feel my AP is going to be very effective on him. And I lit a second fire on him, he put him out, so now anything I can light is just going to be bonus damage that'll just slowly tick up. Though I am getting uncomfortably close, and crap, not going to dodge all this. There's about half my health, but I'm going to use the repair party. No longer in sight, bounces back inside that 8 kilometers. Ah crap, I lost a turret too. They might be close enough to get a couple extra kills, so going to use that anti-air cooldown. Oh god, that hurt. What just did that? Alright, it's time to run. Oh, I was sitting side onto a Tirpitz. That was not good on my part. But I get a fire, he eats some torps, so at this point I pretty much know he's used damage control. So I'm going to actually keep using HE. He's nose on too, so it's not like AP was going to do much. Oh sweet, got another fire. And this is what I've got to do. I've just got to try to keep putting HE into him, get some of that fire damage going. You can see it just ticking up in the upper corner. Maybe that's not my fire actually then. There we go, that one's definitely mine. And I lose him in the cyclone. But that's, at this point, I don't want to be spotted. I need to heal. We've got a bit of a ship advantage, and hopefully we can maintain that. In cyclones like this, carrier play really comes into its own. They only get to drop on things that their planes themselves have spotted. They no longer get that full map view. but they can also single out ships in a way that during normal play you just can't. Just watching these torpedo bombers. They're not really going to come into range, I don't think. Yeah, they just dropped at the DD. So something a lot of people don't know is in cyclones, your radar still works. So the boost to my detection range actually will work inside this storm. So I'm trying to get close to that last known position, and I'm going to activate it. Doesn't look like I'm quite close enough, but you could see in the bottom corner my view circle increased a little bit. So it's a way for cruisers fitted with radar to really harass battleships, as you can get that kind of 9.5 kilometer radar range away, and then use it to illuminate them, start putting fire on, and all they can do is guess because they won't have you spotted. They don't have the view distance. So our advantage is dropping off a bit. That enemy destroyer, I think, got a kill on one of our guys. So really, getting the caps and controlling capture points is more important than chasing down kills. I'm really getting curious where that battleship Baltimore and aircraft carrier are, because I would have thought the destroyers got close enough to spot one of them. But they may just be running. Can always be tense at moments like this in the cyclones, because you might just suddenly be 8 kilometers from another ship. And I've had a couple battleship games where enemy battleship, neither of us respecting each other, pop up 8 kilometers apart, and one of us was side onto the other, and it's just game over basically because of luck. And got some torpedo bombers coming in behind. Activate that cooldown, kill as many of them as possible. And I don't think I managed to save... Nah, crap. Lost a destroyer. Oh well. So we got 3 caps now. I'm expecting that enemy destroyer to show up in A any moment now. I mean, he was last spotted here going for A. They've got the ship advantage. I don't know why they aren't being more aggressive right now. But I think I'm going to go in, try to capture D. Hope they're not over there, but at this point, need to stay alive, need to keep the caps. Yeah, their DD is definitely an A now because we're losing it. And I don't like what Ballin' Like Stalin's doing. Like, we just have to be patient right now and we've got this. I don't... He better keep alive. You can see me warning him in chat. It's silly to try to go for a kill when the game's almost over, because you can lose it. Okay, CV just finished off the enemy destroyer, so we still have A. So this one's pretty much in the bag, even if Ballin dies. So overall, I thought it was a pretty decent game. And this is kind of how I use the Baltimore. I like to harass other cruisers, and I go all out after DDs. I generally try to avoid battleships. I know I got pinched between two of them, and you saw how quickly I lost hit points. This is really, in my opinion, an anti-destroyer and anti-cruiser ship, and it fills that role dutifully. I mean, you saw how much damage I did to that Hindenburg and Otago. 3 sits. It was getting like 10,000 to volley. You can really lay the hurt on. And in my opinion, that's the best way. And this is how that game worked out. 250,000 credits, 10,000 experience. If you have ships you're trying to get through, this weekend is the time to do it. There's currently an event on 3 times for your win of the day, or plus 200% experience. Got a close quarters with my guns. Only 68,000 damage, most of it fairly early on, but my decision to kind of disengage and go for the caps, in my mind, is the safer choice. Had our carrier failed at killing that DD, and you saw Ballin' Like Stalin die, we could have lost that if I had not driven into D and they had managed to get A. So, not the most damage, but still a successful game. And in the end, still top a team with just shy of 2,000 base experience. I got 13 of their planes. I think their carrier was getting a little desperate at the end, sending so many of the planes close to me, but on the other hand, he did manage to kill one of our DDs even through that defensive fire. And you can see damage pretty spread out, and just a couple quick volleys, and I managed to do 22,000 to that Hindenburg. All this damage to that Iowa is because of tick damage from the fires. It was the same reason I was still using HE on the Tirpitz after he took those torpedoes. Was I know he used his damage control. If I could relight them, even if he got away, they were still going to burn. And look at how much damage I got from fires. 18,905. You really can't discount that, and that's where some awareness really comes into this game, is watching when things get hit. You can pretty much guarantee if a battleship eats a couple torpedoes, they're going to use their damage control. So your first volley might light them on fire. It'll go out right away because it's still active, but keep up the pressure. You'll light more fires, and that damage can add up very quickly, especially if you get 2, 3, 4 fires going on a ship. And to look at the credits, walked away with 100,000 after all my consumables and repairs. And once again, just 10,000 double-digit experience. Pretty much 2,000 of it was base experience because I have a premium account. But then you get my Equal Speed Charlie London into the mix and the 200% bonus that's going on right now. And you're walking away with a ton, even more for my commander with those flags going. So I hope this video provided some insight on how I personally have my Baltimore set up and how I drive it. It's not everyone's way and everyone has a different style, but this is mine, and I've had some decent success using the ship in this fashion. Until next time though, thank you very much for watching.